My name's James and I paint minis. This is Spoon 37 Minis.
So I thought I'd do a short video on things that would have helped with painting your first miniature. The first thing is a paint handle. This is available from a variety of manufacturers, but if you remember in the how to paint your first mini video, I had to hold a mini like this by the edges of the base. It's a little awkward and you can drop the miniature, so Games Workshop, as many others, make a painting handle. This one's spring loaded and you just slot the miniature in on one side, pull the clamp, and then it clamps down the base, and then you can hold it with your full hand, turn it any which way you like, and you won't drop the miniature. Now, the problem with that paint handle is it does grip the edges of the base, making painting the edge of the base difficult. So an alternative, and one that may be cheap or free depending on what you have to hand, is something like a cork with a bit of poster putty on top. Now, I am also an advocate of having more brushes. Just generally more brushes would help. But considering we only had the starter brush to paint the original miniature with, which did okay, but ideally you'd have one brush that is smaller and one brush that is larger as a bare minimum. So I've got a couple here. If you're buying from a generic paintbrush manufacturer, then you probably want something like a size 0 brush and a size 3. Now I've picked up a couple of brushes which you'll see better in a moment, which is actually the Games Workshop S layer and the Games Workshop M shade brushes, which are roughly a size 0 and a size 3. And that, as you can see, if I just slot that one in between, is sort of, you know, small, medium and large brushes for miniatures. Very specifically for applying texture. Textures are quite thick and gloopy and difficult to apply with the paintbrush, which is what I actually used for the very first miniature, but it really was quite hard going and I kept having to dip into the pot, which would have been better with this tiny little spatula. Now I've got a clip here of applying it to the base of the yellow marine, where you can see I'm able to use quite a lot and just work it in very easily. It doesn't really damage the spatula and I can just keep going to the pot and scraping it against the base until the base is completely covered very easily. I have since discovered, since making this video, that you can buy this brush, if you will, separately as an M texture brush from the Games Workshop. Finally, this wasn't a problem that came up very often, but if you remember, I had to mix purple from blue and red paints and it wasn't very good. This was for doing the eyes and the purity seal, and it was kind of desaturated and muddy, so ideally you buy Screamer Pink from the Games Workshop as a ready mixed sort of dark magenta colour.
Right, if you've watched this far, firstly thank you for watching. If you did like it, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell shaped icon so that you know when the next video will be coming out. I'm hoping to keep a release schedule of about 2 videos a month.